Hey everybody, today we're going to be getting my Fiat 500 ready for its first rental trip on Turo. I've got a few service items to take care of, like doing an oil change and replacing one of the wiper blades. And then after that, we're going to clean it up and take some pictures so we can list it on the site and start making some money. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. So in front of me here, we have everything we're going to be servicing. We've got an oil change kit using some Amazon oil, some radio button stickers, which we're going to be applying because the ones on the radio are currently worn out. You can't tell what buttons to press. A TPMS sensor because one of them is faulty, and then a rear wiper blade because I think the one on the car is falling apart. So we're going to go ahead now and pull it in the garage and get right to work. Now this is my first time looking under the Fiat 500 and I'm so glad that it fits on my quick jacks. For a second there I didn't think it would fit between the two wheels, but let's go ahead and look underneath because there's some things that I was worried about when I first started driving this car. Now as soon as I got off the protective shield, which is on the ground over there, I noticed this oil leak, and that's something we're gonna have to look up top because it looks to be coming from far up in the engine bay, so that's not like an oil pan or anything. Oops, got some water on the lens there. Now my bigger concern looking closer is going to be these axles. I thought originally that the front control arms probably were worn and they were causing a little bit of a clunk, but looking at the axles, it looks like they're spitting up grease and the boots are torn. And it's the same thing over on the driver's side of the car as well. These are original axles. They do have 100,000 miles on them, so probably due for replacement. Now the other thing I was worried about is when I turn the wheel, it actually kind of shifts the engine all around, and you know, that might have something to do. There is a little bit of like a clunking noise, I think, coming from the axle there, but my guess is that that rear bushing there that I was looking at, it shows some signs of cracking. It's this one right here that I'm talking about that is worn down. So probably put that on my list of things. You know, once you get into a car project like this, a car guy like me, I just want to start fixing everything. But the oil leak doesn't look like it's that bad. The bushing doesn't probably need to be replaced soon, but probably it is annoying, that noise that we're getting, that clunk from the axle. So I'm going to go ahead and look at what our options are there. But otherwise, this car, I think it was originally sold in Colorado, so it's really impressive to see no buildup of salt or rust or anything like that. So that is really comforting to see. Nothing even on the exhaust, which is a really common rust spot. So I think we're all good down here. We're just going to go ahead and start draining the oil, and then we can look up top and see where that oil leak is coming from. Now you could say that I got ahead of myself with taking a quick peek under the hood here. I ended up taking off the airbox that was held in by a couple of 10mm bolts, and then I got a closer look at this oil leak right here. It looks like it's coming from the seal where this PCV system goes on to the valve cover right here. That's really simple. It was held on by just a few bolts, so I think that we'll probably add that to the list of things. Grab one of these new seals here so we don't have any oil leaking down the side of the motor. And the spark plugs look like they're going to be really easy to change out. Probably add that to the list of service items that we want to do soon as well. But overall, you know, everything looks really simple. You've got access to the injectors and the manifold up here. The headers and the catalytic converter are right down here. So what's cool about this Fiat I like is that without a turbo, there's plenty of room to work on the engine here. And I mean, the whole thing is about the same size as the battery. Look at it side by side. So all we're going to do now is reassemble this, make a note of that O-ring, and then I'm going to top off the oil. And then we're going to start working inside of the car, I think, because we need to take care of some of the stuff inside of there. Now here inside the car, My biggest complaint with the Fiat is these cheap radio buttons here, and you can see that the symbols are basically completely worn off. It's kind of harder to tell what exactly you're pressing, especially if you're new to this car, you've never used this radio before. So I bought some stickers that we can use to put onto the radio buttons, and it should make it look a lot better. So why don't we go ahead and install them now, and then we got to worry about this seat, which is actually stuck, and I discovered that there's a pen stuck underneath the rail, kind of between the seat and the bottom rail. So I think if we remove it, or at least we undo the 4 bolts, we can slide, get the seat forward enough to get the pen out from the backside. So that's my best bet for now, but let's go ahead and take care of the radio first. All right, and now the stickers installed. Honestly, they don't look too bad. A lot better. Definitely, you can read the buttons now. You don't have to guess what the buttons do. And the good thing is, I don't think that these stickers are going to wear down at all. I even replaced the lower ones down here. Those look really good and clean. And again, you're going to be sitting back from this thing a few inches, so you're not going to be looking at it up close. I mean, maybe I messed up in like a couple of spots, but I think it's going to be a really good addition to the car. So now let's go ahead and pull this seat out. And we got it. So what I ended up doing, I couldn't get this pen out from under there. You can see it's like literally squished. So what I had to do was disengage the lock manually. There's like 2 locks on this side. So got to pick under each side, used a hammer to just push that rail until I could get the, basically the pen out. It was stuck right in there, and someone probably put the seat all the way back, crushed it, and it was going to be forever stuck there. So now we can go ahead and reinstall this seat. And I think the last steps are just going to be replacing the rear wiper blade, and also we got to pull off the front left wheel because it has a bad TPMS sensor, and we need to get that changed out, and I don't have obviously the equipment here to do that. So let's get that TPMS sensor changed out, and then I think a quick wash and we'll be able to take some pictures and list it on Turo. Now it started raining while I was washing the car, but we went and finished it up inside the garage. I pulled it in, dried it up, and I think it looks really good now. I added a layer of turtle wax ceramic coating to make sure that it's a little bit hydrophobic on the paint and that it shines real well. But now it's actually the next day. I got a roll of vinyl wrap from Amazon that we're gonna use to fix up the sunroof, which kind of has that peel and clear coat issue. And then we're gonna take some pictures here in a few minutes because the sun's about to come up and it's the best time to get good pictures for your car. So let's go ahead and install that vinyl wrap and then take those pictures. Well, the results are good, not great, not perfect. You know, if we would have sanded, I think that area, I think it would have came out a lot smoother, but because the clear coat was peeling underneath it and it's kind of bubbly, you can kind of see the surface. But I don't think it's a big deal because it looks a lot better than it did before. And I think she's ready for her photo shoot. So let's go ahead, find a nice spot and get some good photos. So here's the little spot that I came about. This is something in my neighborhood and it's a nice spot to take the photos at because there's really no one else that parks here. It's got a lot of shade, so there's no direct sunlight or direct shadows on the car. And I'll show you guys some of the pictures that I got right here. The car looks really good and clean in the pictures. We want to show off, you know, the size, the looks, and also some of the features inside, like, you know, the radio, the aux cords, and the fold down seats and stuff like that. So now all we have to do is list this baby on the Turo platform. I have one more mod that we're going to be doing in the next video on this card, and that is a GPS install, so stay tuned for that. But I think that we can go ahead and start accepting reservations by putting it on the platform, and then we'll take care of the GPS before its first trip. So let me know what you guys think of this Fiat 500. I can't wait to get it on the platform and see how many reservations it gets. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, be sure to follow along and see where we go with this Turo car and what sort of cars we might add to our fleet in the future. As always, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and we will see you in the next video.